Welcome to State of Origin 1 video edition right here, right now, here for you on Barry Charles Footy Show. Yes, we're going to talk about New South Wales not picking Terrell May, Jerome Luai, Turbo, all missing in action. Selwyn Cobbo not selected again for Toya. Cherry Evans, does he deserve a spot in the team ahead of Dearden? Moses could be playing his last Origin or last Origin series if he doesn't deliver in this upcoming series with Luai looking up his heels. New South Wales, all the Welshmen out there getting too cocky. I heard a lot of 3-0s in the series here from past players and all the fans out there. I think you might be getting a little bit ahead of yourselves. Crichton, no confirmation yet, but he could be out, with Campbell potentially being in. So let's do it. We're going to go, after we do all this talk, we're going to go player by player, and I'm going to rank the teams. And it's a lot closer than even I thought in terms of the selection here. And Cleary can make himself an immortal with a dominant series, which he's yet to do. Well, let's get to it right here, right now. Origin 1 special just for you on your favourite channel, Barry Charles Footy Show. Remember to like the video and subscribe so we can go towards 1,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. Well, yes, let's get to it. Just before we get to the State of Origin, I quickly want to talk about what I was wanting to talk about last night. Gus, yes, Gus. The fight of the punchies between him and Buzz Rothfield and Michael Chammas. What's going on here? It's been the attack of Gus. Yes, Gus. Well, Gus is having the last laugh as Bulldogs sign the deal on the Galvin deal. But yes, absolutely getting hammered, and it was absolutely like I thought fisticuffs was going to happen between Chammas and Gus. Your my integrity. I remember that happened with who was it? I'm trying to remember who it was. Was it Buzz and Cooper Cronk or something like that back in the day when? Well, it might have been another journalist, I'm not 100%, I can't remember, but there was a stinker about that as well. Yeah, so clear, this is really going to be interesting how that saga continues. But anyway, Michael Chammas, I think, was wetting his pants a little bit, to be honest. But let's get back to it. Let's get back to the controversy in the selection table here for Rugby League. Terrell May, what's doing? Yes, Terrell May was not selected. Do I think it was the right decision? Potentially yes, but potentially no. We all know why he didn't get selected, because of what he said on his live stream. Just trying to shorten it up for you, even though it was a joke. It doesn't matter if it's a joke. He's just that sad. I don't think true New South Welshmen that believe they're true blue would ever even think of saying what he said. You know that jersey I gave you, bro? You can burn it. That's pretty much what he was saying. Yeah, and let's talk about New South Wales jersey. It's just absolute rubbish. And if this is the way of the youth in these days, I don't want to be any part of it. It's just absolute lunacy. And yeah, and clearly he's not getting picked because of what happened with the Roosters, the way he left there. There must be a personality clash there, and he obviously doesn't fit in like Brandon Smith in terms of wearing the man bag, as we saw the other night on the Footy Show and all that. But more, there is something just an attitude, and you get that with just some players. They have the talent in the world, like Josh Schuster, but they just don't have the application. But I'm not saying, but Terrell May's played good football this season. Don't get it wrong. He's played good. He's played consistently good. We'll see if it goes for the rest of the season. We'll see. But if he continues to play like that, he deserves the opportunity. The question marks was over his defence is something they were saying. But at the end of the day, it's about picking the choir boys instead of the talent boys. The rough table. And that's why I don't see Luai and Cobbo in this in the selections table. You can have one or two, like Mitchell and Spencer Leniu, but you can't have half a dozen when you add in the likes of Luai and Terrell May, it's just not going to work. So yes, a lot of interesting things happening around that situation. How's that going? But if we try to get to my honest opinion around Terrell May in terms of his decision to be left out, the only place he would have played is Max King. That's simple as that. But let's be honest, Huss and Barney deserve this situation in Leniu as well. I'm not saying Leniu's form this year has been as good as Terrell May, but what he did in Origin, he deserves to be there. But Max King has been given it because he's a dirty player, and that's why they've gone for him. And Terrell May is a more longer minutes player, so that's a Huss and Barney. So that you don't necessarily need three. But Phil Gould would argue that you need him because if a Huss went down, which potentially he can if this injury includes, I don't think he'll play as big a minutes as he probably is normally. That a player like Terrell May who can play 60, 70 minutes on the bench is very important. But obviously Max King is probably going to be that type of player. But Spencer Leniu is a little bit of a liability if you need more minutes. But often you don't. You just need that short stint, which is fine. But if they do need a longer stint, that's when Leniu's selection can be a bit of a mistake. Would I have picked Terrell May? In my honest opinion, no, I wouldn't have. Would I have picked Max King? Probably not, but good on him. Because you could argue that Stefano hasn't been as good as these players, but I just think through the Melbourne system, I think he's the man. And even a Kalamatangi is another one who can play a few positions, which is probably important. And he's another unlucky player not to miss out on the team. But yeah, interesting. Luai, yes, what's happening, folks, with Luai? Yes, he hasn't made the team because he's not a choir boy like Moses. I'll give it to Laurie Daly. He has gone bold. He absolutely thinks the kicking game of Moses will get it done, which clearly it can. But you could also have too many chiefs in the thing and not enough Indians. So we'll see how that works out for them. And also, I don't think he has the mongrel that Luai has, which he sometimes need at this level of Origin. But we will see, because Luai, he broke the game open to win the final match. I know Mitchell has got the last try, but Luai did the damage when the game was in the balance. When Bramman Best getting their try was an outstanding game. And both of those players are not in the team while Bramman Best is injured, but he was never getting selected anyway. Yes, what do we do? And obviously Turbo, to be honest, he wasn't in good enough form. In terms of talent, he deserves to be there, but he was out of form, and I can understand why you go with Seklo Mix and Brian Tohu. They've been there, done that. They were excellent last year. I don't think you need to make changes, even though they've been injured. They are fit blokes, and I think they just go straight in and do the job. Yes. Queensland, Cobbo. Yes, Cobbo been sensationally left out. Surely he had a wing spot at Holmes to the centres, but then Holmes can be a bit of a liability in centres as well, and they reckon Toya's probably better defensively. So I understand why they've gone the way they've gone. Do I mean that's the way I would have picked? Hell no. Selwyn Cobbo is way better than Toya at the moment. I'm not saying the future Robert Toya is not a better player, but right at this moment, Selwyn Cobbo is a better player. But again, he doesn't lead to the choir boy situation. He's obviously had a stink with Billy Slater. They're all denying it. They're all going, didn't happen. Gorden Tallis was riling up on the media about Chammas, and then just telling Porkies. Well, I'm telling you now that there is something going on in Queensland why Cobbo's not getting picked, because he absolutely should be picked. But again, it's a bit of a thing. If you're not in the club, you're out of the club. If you're not in the circle, like Robert De Niro says, you're out of the circle. I see you. So pretty much Cobbo, as long as Billy Slater is the coach, he will not be playing Origin unless they're absolutely decimated in injury. Yes, so I'm just interesting to see how this future goes with the scuffle, because Chammas and Danny Wilder are believing it's true, and I'm in their camp. Doesn't mean I can't say yes or no this is true or not, but I'm also hearing as well from others within that Billy Slater absolutely gave it to Cobbo. And the Kevin Walters situation, was not a good look for him and was happened in the selection table. So yeah, basically, I think Slater and Cobbo don't get along. That's why they're not on the team. You say, Robert Toya, have to congratulate you, mate. Well done to you for making your debut, and I hope everything goes well for you. But you are going to be taking on Latrell Mitchell. It's going to be a big game for you. Yes. I think Daly Cherry Evans deserves a spot because I just don't think Tommy Dearden has been good enough. No one's been knocking down the house to say, pick me. I mean, if Sam Walker was available, I think he is probably the most likely to take over DCE. Even though Tom Dearden's a great player, don't get me wrong, but Sam Walker's, in terms of what Sam Walker can do, at his best, he's got more talent. Moses, he's certainly under pressure, folks. He needs to deliver. He's otherwise Luai straight back in. So the pressure's on him, and it could be potentially his last Origin game. But yeah, for all the three Peters out there thinking it's going to be 3-0 series White Swamp, all I say is Ponga, Munster, Tino, Grant, Carrigan. Do I need to say more? They have some X-Factor players on their side. They can get it done. So it's going to be an interesting one. And the media bans with Latrell and Lenu, do I think that was great? It was absolutely rubbish. There's been boring setup for the Origin here. It's been a boring setup. And Laurie Daly, can he get it done? He's only won one series out of 5. Can he get it done? We will see. But yes, the talk of the town has been the Galvin situation. But it is Rugby League State of Origin tonight, folks. So let's get through it. Who are the teams here? For me, fullbacks. Ponga versus Edwards. I am going to go Ponga the better player. Coates and Lomax, I'm going Lomax. Toho and Holmes, I'm going Toho. Toya and Mitchell, I'm going Latrell Mitchell. Hammer and Crichton and Graham, I'm going to go Hammer. I just think Hammer's outstanding at Origin level. Munster and Moses, Munster all day. DC and Cleary, Cleary is all day. Fotuaika versus Barrett, Barrett for mine. Harry Grant versus Robertson, Grant wins that every day of the week. Tino versus Haas or Stefano. Well, I think it's pretty even between Haas and Tino, so I'm giving ticks to both of them here. Same with Cotter and Martin, they're both excellent. Nanai and Crichton, it's pretty close when I was Crichton at his best. This probably might shock a few people, but I think Carrigan's playing better football than Yale. Dearden, better than Watson, no doubt about that. Collins is pretty good at Origin level, but Spencerlina I think has him on there. I think both of them all might have more impact than Hudson Young in this game. We know Hudson Young's been playing good football, but Fuma plays Origin football. And Lalero and King, I think King slightly has the edge there. So for my selections, after all that, I had just by one New South Wales the better team. Just. So to say that this team is a lot stronger is absolute rubbish. What do I think what's going to happen in the selection room here? I'm tipping there could be an upset here, and I think there's an opportunity for them to win here, Queensland, if they dig in deep. But also the Blues could win by 30. I think it's going to be either Blues smash them or Queensland get it up with a sneaky upset. Anyway, that's the Barry Charles Footy Show for the State of Origin episode. Let's get ready and let's hope it's a great game of State of Origin tonight.